What are 20 huge mistakes that you could be making as a print-on-demand seller? These mistakes could result in no sales, increased stress, late nights. We've all been there and it absolutely sucks. Hopefully highlighting these 20 mistakes will help you avoid them going forward. Oh, and if none of these mistakes actually relate to you, then you're rather unique. So let me know in the comments down below if there is another thing you think you are doing which is hindering your business. Mistake number 1. Falling in love with your designs.
I love you too.
This mainly applies if you are running ads, as this mistake can cost you a lot of money. You have to be level-headed when analyzing your designs to figure out whether or not they're good or they're bad. And by the way, I don't mean physically fall in love with your designs. That's just really, really weird. What I mean is not being able to see the flaws in your design because you like it so much. An easy way around this is, once creating your design, send it to 5 family or 5 friends or whatever you want to do and get their opinion on it, because they're just going to tell you how it is. Mistake number 2 is relying solely on marketplaces to get sales. With print on demand, you have platforms like Amazon, eBay, Etsy, Redbubble, and unfortunately, people rely solely on getting sales through those platforms' organic traffic. If only it was that easy. Yes, it does work for some, but I would say for most, you have to also put in a little effort and send your own traffic, either through ads, but then ads can cost, so you might not want to do that. But you've also got free methods like social media, forums, blogs, and SEO, and these are all different ways that you can send traffic and also start building up your own audience so that you can get more sales. Mistake number 3. Procrastination. It's so easy to procrastinate in this business, and that's because it's such a slow business. You can sometimes feel that the work you're doing has no value, and then procrastinating just seems like a natural thing to do. Think about it. You can design your 10th t-shirt for today and think, this is probably not going to get any sales. Or you can turn on Netflix for an hour and just be entertained. The struggle is real, and a lot of people do suffer from procrastinating too frequently. So in order to try and counter this, try removing yourself from anything that you find distracting. Maybe it's your phone, your TV, your lounge, even your computer, who knows? A great thing to do is just to go to a coffee shop somewhere, just take a pen and a paper, potentially take your laptop if you're going to be designing, or your iPad, right? Turn off all notifications, turn off other apps, maybe even delete apps that you're not using, or put them away somewhere so they're not like on the home screen, and then just set yourself times. So set yourself half an hour and then do work for half an hour, and hopefully you find you end up procrastinating a lot less. Mistake number 4, not creating designs because you're scared someone will steal them. This is a very real problem so many people have, but I personally just don't understand it. You're nervous someone will steal your designs, so you don't ever end up making it. Well, what's the difference? If you don't make it, you have no chance of getting any sales or it blowing up. And if you do make it and someone steals it, then you still have that small chance of getting sales, but then again, it's also been stolen, which is annoying. You're not benefiting either way. You may as well make it, see if it does well, and if it does happen to get ripped off, then figure that out. See if you can message them, see if you can get it taken down. And if worse comes to worse, you can't get it taken down, well, you've still made it, you still got your few sales, and you know, that's better than nothing happening at all. Not creating that design is definitely not the solution if you are nervous of someone stealing it. Mistake number 5. Giving up too soon. Print on demand is no overnight success kind of business. And for that matter, I don't think any business is. In fact, with print on demand, it's the complete opposite, because it can take weeks, it can take months, it can take years for it to become successful. And unfortunately, because of this, it can lead to giving up. A simple solution to this is to spread the work out rather than try and do it all in one go because you want to be successful next week or whatever it is, because that will probably just lead to a very bad burnout. If you spread it out, you'll be far more relaxed. You can focus on other things that bring in money in other areas, so you won't be as stressed to make it succeed. Mistake number 6. Mismatching fonts and graphics. This is a really easy mistake and one that I have made in the past quite a few times. I'm not expecting anyone to take a course on font theory and really learn everything there is to know about fonts and which ones go with which images. So the best way to counter this problem is to simply show your designs to some family and some friends and see if anything odd stands out to them. See if they say, oh, that font looks a bit weird with that graphic, and the whole thing as a whole, the font doesn't really work with that theme you're going for and that niche that you're in. So ask them, get their opinion, and tell them you want them to be as blunt and honest with you as possible, and this should hopefully counter the problem. Mistake number 7, overcharging.
$100 billion.
I know you want to make a profit. That's really important. And when we start working out the costs and figuring out how much we have to charge, we create a price. And what we don't ever do is think, what would the customer think when they see this price? Will they look at this price and go, oh gosh, that's an expensive product? Or they look at this price and go, yeah, I can afford that. I'm gonna buy it. You've got to put yourself in your customer's frame of mind and figure out if that price is actually good. What you can do is you can see what other people are charging, and then you can kind of price it up based on what the market is dictating at that time. If it turns out after working out all of your costs that you're probably not gonna make a profit, well then try finding a different product or maybe a different supplier that is selling the item at a cheaper price. Mistake number 8. Mismatching colors. Some colors just don't go well together. And this can be a huge factor for a lot of people who don't fully understand color theory. And I don't think I fully understand color theory, which is why I use this really cool free tool on Canva. This is the Canva color tool. You can use the color palette generator, the color palette ideas, a color wheel, and find out the meaning of different colors. This is a free section of Canva, and it is so flipping cool to really understand what colors mean, what colors go with what colors specific designs use. Is just a flipping awesome tool. Mistake number 9, choosing products that the niche doesn't need. You need to know your audience. We often think that because the design is really good and really catchy and people love it, that it will be bought no matter what that design is put on. However, that is very wrong. The product itself needs to be appealing to the customer. For example, let's say you have the perfect design for the niche hunters, people who like to hunt. And at that time, a really trendy product is yoga mats, and yoga mats are selling amazingly. So you think, oh, I've got this great design, I'm gonna put it on a yoga mat and I'm gonna try and sell it. Hopefully that should get it to blow up. Well, no, if you think about it, hunters aren't really in the market for yoga mats. So however good the design is, you're not gonna get any sales. Always make sure the product fits the audience, not just the design. Mistake number 10, using copyrighted artwork because you're unaware of what's allowed and what's not allowed. Many beginners will enter this business and see what others are doing and assume what they're doing is allowed. Unfortunately, in this business, what many of those people are doing is stealing. Right? They're stealing from companies, they're stealing from other print-on-demand sellers, but they're stealing. So they are not the people you want to be copying. You can get your selling account banned, and worse, you could potentially get sued. So it's best that we just don't do that. You can use the USPTO trademark search to see if something is allowed or isn't allowed. A lot of the time it's obvious, if you see people using the Nike tick or something, then clearly that's not allowed. But some of the time, it could be. And we just don't know, and that's where the USPTO website comes in handy. Mistake number 11, limiting yourself to t-shirts only. A lot of print-on-demand videos on YouTube or just online mainly talk about selling t-shirts, and I'm included in that. And that can make a lot of people think, well, t-shirts seem to be the best selling item, and maybe they are, but that doesn't mean you should neglect other items that could also make you extra income. So don't limit yourself. Upload your designs to hoodies, to mugs, to pillows, to shower curtains, to yoga mats, whatever you want. Just make sure that design matches the size of that item. And also make sure to remember who the target audience is. Mistake number 12, paying no attention to hidden fees and charges when calculating your profit margin. A lot of the time when people are calculating their profits, they only look at the base price of the item they're selling. Say they're selling a t-shirt and it costs $10. Well, if they sell it for $20, they make $10. No, there are so many other elements that you have to factor in as well. Otherwise, you're just going to end up not making money and not realizing why you're not making money. Sometimes you'll have to pay tax. Sometimes the print-on-demand company you're using have their own fees. Sometimes if you're, selling on Shopify and you have the monthly fee of Shopify, sometimes you run ads. There are lots of different elements and you have to factor every associated cost in when working out your profit margin. Once you've worked out your true profit, it will be so much easier for you to plan, and as well as plan, but also price accordingly so you do make a good amount of money. Mistake number 13, poor customer service. Print on demand might be the full package when it comes to customer service and printing and shipping and handling inventory and all of that stuff, but that doesn't mean you shouldn't care about customer service yourself. If you can, try and conduct your own customer service. Now, a lot of platforms like Amazon and Redbubble, it's very hard to get involved with that. But platforms like Etsy, or if you're selling on your own website, you can definitely follow up with emails, ask them how they're doing, ask them, if it's arrived, give them some washing advice, wash it inside out, wash it at this temperature, and just make sure that you are there and that you care for them. And that way you'll end up getting far more reviews and far more repeat customers. Mistake number 14, expecting easy money and quick success. Unfortunately, a lot of what we read online is how people get super rich and super successful, but what we don't see is how long it took them, the struggles, the mistakes, the hardships that they went to actually get there. And that could put us in the mindset of, we need to do this fast, we need to get successful tomorrow. What is taking us so long? When in actual fact, it can take weeks, but it can take months, years, ages to actually get successful in this. So don't think of it as a sprint, think of it as a marathon. Mistake number, boring generic artwork simply does not work anymore. This of course doesn't apply to every single boring design. Some still, find their way through the cracks and do really well, but as a whole, it's fair to say that a lot of boring designs no longer survive. And that could be because the increased level of saturation in this business, a lot of those boring designs have already been out there, or because everyone realizes how easy it is to create their own designs now, they'll just create those boring designs themselves. Try thinking outside the box, puns, memes, funny quotes, funny sayings, and put those on t-shirts, maybe add some graphics here and there, make them stand out, make them unique, and that should definitely help you get more sales. Mistake number 16, underestimating SEO, search engine optimization. A lot of people nowadays ignore SEO, but it is still so flipping important. When you're writing your description, your bullets, or even your title, you've got to really think about it. Think about the keyword you're using and how they could rank on different search engines, whether it's Google or Amazon or Etsy or eBay. They're all technically search engines that people are using to find products. You can use the Google Keyword Planner tool to see which keywords are good, which long tail keywords, which short tail keywords, all of these different keywords. You want to find out and create a long list of keywords for each individual design that you do. And then when you're creating your description, you're creating your title, or whatever it is, you'll be able to put those words in cleverly so that they do well in the algorithm, but they're not just in your face, keyword, 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 keyword. It makes sense. Mistake 17, not bothering to gather reviews. This is more important if you're selling on platforms like Etsy, or maybe your own website, like a Shopify website or a Zyro website, whatever. Just don't underestimate the importance of reviews and what that means in terms of social proof. Having a lot of reviews means having a lot of social proof, and having a lot of social proof can 100% get buyers over the edge to actually buy your product. So follow up with customers, send them emails, offer really, really good customer service, and make sure they're okay, make sure they're happy, and then ask them for a review. That's totally okay. Mistake number 18, letting negative feedback put you down. Feedback is so important. It's critical in this business, but you shouldn't let it put you down or make you rethink whether or not you actually want to do print on demand. If someone doesn't like your design, that's fine. Show it to a few more people. And if no one likes your design, that's also fine. Move on to a new design. It's nothing personal by them not liking the design. A lot of the time, people will complain about the quality or the shipping times and all of those things, which, to be honest, the only thing you can really do is switch to another printing partner. Other than that, there's not really much you can do because it's kind of out your hands. Mistake number 19, being unprepared for the holidays. The holidays are a great time to get extra sales. And I don't just mean Christmas. Any holiday, Valentine's Day, Halloween. Just make sure you are well prepared in advance for these holidays. Try and have designs up and ready to sell 6 weeks before, because print on demand companies can take a bit of time for shipping, but also if you're selling on a platform that has a marketplace, it can take you a bit of time to start ranking in their algorithm. And mistake 20, not grabbing on trends quickly enough. Sometimes all we need is a quick boost to get our motivational levels back up, because unfortunately in this business, it's very easy to kind of just like fall all the way down because you're not getting sales or you're not getting enough traction. So having those boosts of sales can be quite nice. And that can come from trends. It's not particularly easy to find these trends, but when you do, you want to get on them ASAP. And don't let them slip by, because usually they don't last that long, and they're a great way for you to get a few extra sales, for you to get a few extra reviews, and for your entire shop to start ranking slightly better in the algorithm depending on which print on demand company you're using. And of course, it can also bolster you forward and give you that bit of extra motivation that you need to keep on going. And those are the 20 mistakes that I've seen so many print on demand sellers make, and I've made a lot of them myself as well. Let me know in the comments down below if any of them resonate with you, or if you feel you are doing something else that wasn't on that list. And if you feel like you're still struggling and I didn't cover it all, then check out this video over here. This will definitely help you counter that print on demand struggle and get more sales.